The meeting will please come to order. This evening, President Congo will be presiding virtually. President Congo, are you ready to take over?
Yes, I am. Thank you. Hello and good evening, everyone. I am Trippy Congo, President of Wilmington City Council. I'd like to welcome everyone to this evening's meeting. Today is Thursday, October 17th. Those that are who are in council chambers, as well as those who are with us virtually. I also want to thank Council Member and Pro Temp Maria Cabrera for helping me with this evening's meeting. At this time, we will have an opening prayer by Akira Granado.
Heavenly Father, we have assembled to handle the affairs of our city. As we do so, we ask for your guidance and understanding. We pray that our city reaches a place of peace and safety. Keep us out of harm's way and bless those who are in authority. Let respect be key in all our endeavors. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Amen. At this time, we will recite Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag,
United States of
United States of America.
And
to the republic for which it stands,
one
One
nation,
nation,
under
under
God,
God,
indivisible,
indivisible,
liberty,
with liberty and justice for all.
Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilman White,
Present.
Councilwoman Darby, Councilwoman Darby, Councilwoman Oliver,
present,
Councilwoman Harley,
Present.
Councilwoman Fields,
present,
Councilwoman McCoy,
Here.
Councilman Johnson,
Here.
Councilman Field,
Present.
Councilwoman Cabrera,
present.
Councilman Mills,
Present.
Councilman Spadola,
Present.
Councilwoman Bracy, Councilwoman Bracy, President Congo.
Here.
11 present and 2 absent.
All right, thank you. And also, just as a quick reminder, for anyone who was with us virtually, there is a Google Form sign-up link in our chat for anyone who would like to give public comment. And public comment will take place after all non-legislative business. At this time, we have the reading of the minutes from our previous meeting.
Wilmington City Council, October 3rd, 2024. City Council met in regular session with remote participation on the above date at 6:32
At
p.m.
this time, I move for the minutes to be received, recorded, and filed.
second,
It's been properly moved and second. The minutes be the minutes be accepted as written. On the question, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
aye,
Any opposed? Motion carried. At this time, we will have our committee reports.
October 7th, 2024. President and members of City Council, ladies and gentlemen, we, your Finance and Economic Development Committee, met by anchor location and remote participation, to who was referred ordinance number 24043, entitled An Ordinance to Amend Chapter 40 of the City Code regarding the annual shoe allowance for safety shoes. Have given this ordinance careful study and recommend council vote on it accordingly. Respectfully submitted, members of Finance and Economic Development Committee. Those members present: Councilwoman Harley, Councilwoman Bracy, Councilman Field, Councilwoman Oliver, Councilman Spadola, and President Congo. Absent with leave, Councilman Johnson.
At this time, I move the committee report be received, recorded, and filed.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second that the report be received, recorded, and filed. On the question, all in favor signify by saying aye.
aye,
Any opposed? Motion carried.
October 7th, 2024. We, your Finance and Economic Development Committee, met by anchor location and remote participation, to who was referred ordinance number 24050, an ordinance constituting amendment number 1 to the fiscal year 2025 operating budget, being an ordinance to amend substitute number 1 to ordinance number 24016. Have given this ordinance careful study and recommend council vote on it accordingly. Respectfully submitted, those members present: Councilwoman Harley, Councilwoman Bracy, Councilman Field, Councilwoman Oliver, Councilman Spadola, President Congo, absent with leave, Councilman Johnson.
At this time, I move the committee report be received, recorded, and filed.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second, the committee report be received, recorded, and filed. On the question, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
October 7th, 2024, we, your Finance and Economic Development Committee, met by anchor location and remote participation, to who was referred ordinance number 24051, entitled An Ordinance to Establish a Temporary Moratorium on the Formal Position Classification Biennial Appeals Process. Have given this ordinance careful study and recommend council vote on it accordingly. Respectfully submitted, those members present, Councilwoman Harley, Councilwoman Bracy, Councilman Field, Councilwoman Oliver, Councilman Spadola, President Congo, and absent with leave, Councilman Johnson.
At this time, I move the committee report be received, recorded, and filed.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second, the committee report be received, recorded, and filed. On the question, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
October 7th, 2024, we, your Finance and Economic Development Committee, met by anchor location and remote participation, to who was referred ordinance number 24052, entitled An Ordinance Authorizing the Issuance of the City's General Obligation Bonds and General Obligation Bond Anticipation Note in order to provide the funds necessary to finance various capital projects specified in the city's fiscal year 2022 and 2024 capital budgets, providing for the sale of the bonds and the band, and authorizing other necessary action. Have given this ordinance careful study and recommend council vote on it accordingly. Respectfully submitted, those members present, Councilwoman Harley, Councilwoman Bracy, Councilman Field, Councilwoman Oliver, Councilman Spadola, President Congo, and absent with leave, Councilman Johnson.
At this time, I move the committee report be received, recorded, and filed.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second, the committee report be received, recorded, and filed. On the question, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
Mr. President, at this time, I'd like to recognize Councilwoman Bracy and Darby, who have joined us.
So noted.
All right, thank you. Do we have one more committee report, or that was the last
No,
one?
that was it.
Treasurer.
That was the last one?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. This time we will have our city treasurer report.
October 17th, 2024, total investments, $525,638,098.64. Total cash on hand, $12,890,618.92. Grand total, $538,528,717.56. Submitted by Dwayne Sims, City Treasurer.
At this time, I move the treasurer's report be received, recorded, and filed as written.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second, the treasury report be received, recorded, and filed. On the question, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carried. At this time, I will accept the motion to move to accept all non-legislative business.
So moved.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second to accept all non-legislative business. On the question, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. At this time, we will have our recognition resolutions, and I will, just for a better flow, I will turn this portion of our meeting back over to Councilmember Maria Cabrera.
Thank you. We have recognition from all of council recognizing Jeffrey Starkey on his retirement. We also have a recognition on behalf of myself, Councilmember Cabrera, recognizing Yvette Santiago during National Hispanic Heritage Month. Also recognizing Maria Matos for her 30 years of service at the Latin American Community Center. Councilwoman Oliver has recognitions recognizing Dr. Deborah Mason, first anniversary of the East Side Hub. Also, Councilwoman Oliver recognizing H. Fletcher Brown Boys and Girls Club, honorees Gil Jackson and Richard Johnson, and the 75th anniversary. Councilwoman Oliver recognizing Wilmington Job Corps' 20th anniversary. Sympathy Resolutions on behalf of all of council for Theodore Becker, former mayor of Lewis. And we have one more that was added, sympathy resolution from Councilwoman McCoy for Edward J. Mills. At this time, we will go to public comment. Oh, Councilmember Oliver, please. Sorry.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would like for Deborah Mason to come up here with anyone from the Wilmington Street Team, please. Come up. Anyone here to support Deborah Mason? I would like for all y'all to come up here, pretty please. I'm gonna give a quick story about the Wilmington Street Team while they're on their way up here. They do have 2 hubs, and they serve a lot of individuals food on various days. And I have been invited on various days, and some days I just stop in there and have lunch with them. But their food is pretty good. And I would like to thank all the council members. We were a very major part of this Wilmington Street Team, and just to see how successful it's really become, this was one of our initiatives, so we should all be proud of ourselves. Okay. First, I'd like for all the staff who works with the High Risk Interventions HRI, please raise your hand. Okay, I'm gonna skip that one. Okay, thank you. Okay, sponsors, Councilwoman Xanthia Oliver, along with my coworkers. Whereas this is sense of City Council to honor individuals and organizations who have demonstrated outstanding achievements and are deserving of recognition and acknowledgments. Deborah Mason and the Wilmington Street Team is one. This is the first anniversary of the Community Public Safety Initiative. It's an Eastside Hub. And whereas Deborah Mason serves as the coordinator of the CPSI officially launched with the support of the Wilmington Street Team in June 2023. The Center of Structural Equity, Network Connect, and Wilmington Community Advisory Council work together as a part of the street team to train and support public safety professionals who are actively involved with the increase of overall well-being of the residents of Wilmington by intervention and prevention of the community violence. And whereas Wilmington Street Team began their work in June 2023, canvassing Wilmington's Eastside and Pricey's Run area, provided needed services to the residents, offering support to those impacted by shootings and other incidents, and facilitating private, positive community interactions to disrupt the cycle of violence. Shortly after their launch, the hub, which is located at 914 North Pine, it was generously donated by Woodlawn trustees to the street team to use until 2026. And whereas within the first year of the hub provided a site for distributing over 1,000 meals, approximately 300 bus passes, 150 loads of laundry for the community members, and access of showers to those in need. The hub was also instrumental in connecting 12 community members to medical services amongst its many activities. The hub serves weekly food sites for WST, a meeting place for WST to supply care packages tailored to the unique concerns of those experiencing homelessness, and a virtual host location for community members to participate in the Public Safety Roundtable. And whereas Deborah Mason, along with Daryl Wolfie Chambers, Sierra Hall of Network Connect, Dr. Gwen Kia of Wilmington Community Advisory Council have worked diligently to expand access to essential services for those in our city's most vulnerable communities. Now there be resolved by the City Council of the City of Wilmington that this council is pleased to recognize Deborah Mason and the Wilmington Street Team as they celebrate their first annual of the Eastside Hub. Job well done.
Hello, everyone. I just want to say I didn't do this by myself. This amazing team works very hard, 7 days a week. They're always on call. And every single one of them, they want to do this work. And that's what's so important about all of this is that every one of them wants to be here. And they're from the city. They understand the community. And every day they're willing to give back. So I know that my name gets talked about a lot, but I don't do this work alone. So I never, ever want to be up here in front of anyone appearing by myself, because without them, there is no me. So I just want to say thank you to my team and thank you to the City Council. I appreciate it.
Councilmember Bracy?
I just wanted to say thank you for all of the hard work that you all are doing. I know it's not easy, and it took a lot of buy-in from the community members, for us to be able to do this work and pilot it in the East Side, and now we're moving on to other parts of the city. But this is a testament of what can happen, and I'm looking forward to us really making this a permanent program in our city and expanding it citywide, because it's needed. We need people out in the community that are really service-based, that are on the front lines, that we are supporting. And I just want to say thank you for your work, and I look forward to us continuing the partnership.
Councilman Johnson?
I want to say, just to add on, we appreciate you because this makes it everything worth it. It was me, I know Councilmember Oliver and Councilmember McCoy that went up to New Jersey back in 3+ years ago to research this model and then bring it to Wilmington, as this is a proven model. So I appreciate the hard work of your team, because the street team makes it happen. I've been hearing positive results about what's going on the east side. The numbers are going down. So again, working with the, working with the community, even interrupting violence before it happens. Like, that's the beauty of it. So I know it's not easy. You put a lot, on the line, plus even your life. So I appreciate your hard work, and we're continuing to make sure you get the resources you need. I am looking forward to the expansion to the west side, Dr. Deborah, as me and Councilwoman McCoy will love that. So that's hopefully the next step, and then we can continue the great work throughout the city. Thank you.
Go ahead.
First of all, I'd just like to be honored and thank you. The team that I work with is outstanding, and you have to love what you do, and we all love what we do. So we might be, don't take this the wrong way, we might be like losing the race a little bit, but we still want, we're gonna win the battle, okay? So that's what we always, I always keep in my mind that keep hope alive and your dreams in front of you. So that's what I tell people on the streets. But I just want to just make it plain and short that we honor this with the utmost respect, and we're gonna keep doing the best thing that we can do. And we just try to save lives, and that's what we do. And we do it real good. Thank you very much.
Don't leave yet. We have a couple. If you would just wait a second, we have a couple more council members that want to speak to this. Councilmember Fields?
Yes, thank you. I just want to say congratulations to every organization that's present there, and job well done. We got the report, and I just spoke with Dr. Mason yesterday evening, and I told her, great job, keep doing what you're doing. And it really shows in the east side, in that hub over there. And I just wanted to let Council Member Johnson and McCoy know it's 5 before 6 and 7. So we working on 5th district first. No, but just thank you, Dr. Mason. really good job, everyone. I don't know everybody's name, but good job, everyone. And you've set the bar for every other district in the city of Wilmington. So thank you so much. Keep up the good work.
Thank you. I too would like to, go ahead, Councilmember McCoy, you first, and I'll close it.
All right, thank you. I just want to say thank you to Dr. Mason and the team. I just wanted to state that CPSI, what we envisioned, what we went to Newark for, you were able to bring it back to Delaware and make it your own, and made it that it fit our city. The different pillars that they used up there are so much different how we're doing. I don't even know whether or not, I know they got a headquarters, but I don't know if they have a hub in Newark. And I just want to say thank you for making certain that it fit, that you did not try to just duplicate services, but making certain that it fit our city. So I look forward, I'm already ringing a bell about different types of drop-in centers and things of that nature that we need here in our city. And I'm just glad that you're here so that you can help me ring that bell as well.
I would like to say that don't ever feel that you're losing, because, you know, it's going to be ups and downs. You haven't even been out there as long and entrenched to really see the results. But what you have done has shown some results. And it matters if it's one life that you've touched, if it's one life that you saved by doing the work that you're doing out there on the street, really getting to the people and to the community, and all the extra services that you provide that weren't even part of the program, whether it's the clothing, the food, the events, people being able to wash their clothes and just feeling dignified as human beings. There is so much work that you're doing. So you might lose a battle here and there, but in the end, you're going to win this war. And we're so grateful to you for being out there on the ground. You make us all look good, and Wilmington is really moving forward, but we couldn't do it without people like yourselves and the team. So thank you so much from the bottom of my heart.
Good evening, everyone. I just wanted to take a moment to recognize the North Side, because they have a hub. They've had problems with the hub previous, but right now they have a hub that's located between Gordon Street. So we'd like to give them a round of applause, because I know they just starting, but we see a lot of progress over there. They do a great job. They out there each and every day giving back to the community. So like I said, I just know that it was just said about the East Side, but as a whole, we do a great job together. And like Mr. Robinson said, we love doing our work because we see the impact that it do in the community, because we are from that community. So like I said, once again, I just want to acknowledge the North Side for all the great work that they do in their hub each and every day. And I thank y'all.
At this time, we have concluded with our resolutions, and we will move on to public comment. Another friendly reminder for public comment, there is a Google form sign up in the chat for City of Wilmington residents who reside in the councilmanic districts or taxpayers who would like to speak. The time limit is 3 minutes. Please keep your comments of general matters pertaining to Wilmington's councilmanic districts or city council business, and please address the president directly. Also, please watch your step as you come to the podium. The first person that we'll be calling up is Deacon Earl Tate. The deacon's in the house. When your name is called, your mic will be unmuted. Please state your first and last name, followed by the district that you live in.
Good evening. My name is Deacon Earl E. Tate, who is never late because he don't want to lose his pair of roller skates. And I like to say, what our forefathers fought so hard for was the right for us to have a chance to vote, a right for us to have a chance to cast the ballot, and not just sit on our butts and do nothing. Because when you sit on your butts, you don't do nothing but collect the bullets all up and down. But they gave us the right to get out here to vote, to get out here to speak our opinion, to have our say in it. I don't care if the person is running that you don't like. Get up and say something about it. Get up and cast the ballot, because it's us, the one that had the person up there, and it's us, the one that is going to take him down if he's not doing right. So we got to get up off our butts and got to get out here and vote. I don't care if you vote early or late. Got to get out here and vote. There's places over here like the State Building, the Power Center, and all. You got to get out there and vote and make your voices be heard. Let your voices be heard, because our children are the ones that look up to us. So we got to get up off our butts and got to get active and got to make this thing known. Make this world of ours still be free. And if you don't like the freedom here, go somewhere else. Go somewhere else. But we got the right to act. And not only that, to think for yourself. To think for yourself and to be your own person. Be your own person, not nobody else. We got to get out here and do it now. Not later, but now.
30-second warning.
All right? Now, I'm gonna say, get out here and vote and let your voices be heard. Lift every voice and let it be heard, because ain't nobody gonna do it for you but you. You got to do it now.
5 seconds. Thank you. Next, next we have Cheyenne Miller. Please watch your step.
Hi, my name is Cheyenne Miller. I am a resident in the 7th District, and I'm here to speak on the $10 million that's going to be voted on tonight for the bridge project. I'm really concerned because there's just been a lot of quick movement on this. I know that people have been saying it's been several months that this has been talked about. However, the bill wasn't really introduced until this month. And so there wasn't a lot of conversations that I've seen in terms of town halls and things like that. And I know that tonight is going to be the final vote on providing the money. My concern is that there is going to be a loss of almost $900,000 in revenue for property taxes for the county, the city, and the schools. And while we can't, I'm not going to speak for the county, I do want to speak as a resident of the city of my concerns that that loss of that money needs to be accounted for some way, some form. And it's one thing for the loss of that money to come from, just a sale that was a sale. But for us to put $10 million into this project, we should probably be asking the question of whether or not there should be a yearly payment so that we can talk about losing that money and then bring a little bit back, just a little bit. And not be all of it, just a little bit back. There is going to be property tax reassessment that comes soon. I'm a homeowner in the city, so I am concerned about what that's going to do to my mortgage. And in general, I'm hoping that we can slow down this vote for a second and see a contract. If there are going to be some new programs, we should see that in a contract, right? The contract should actually say, oh, these are the new programs that we're going to get out of this. And we promise that we'll get those new programs. So I guess for me, I'm just kind of like, should we vote on this? I'm hoping that City Council will take the time to talk about if there are new realizations, any new contracts, any MOUs or anything out there that we haven't heard or haven't seen. But I am worried that moving too fast on this is going to result in us not only losing a bunch of tax revenue, but just going into a deal that long term can actually harm residents. So hoping that we can slow down the vote, talk about making sure that we're getting the tax revenue back in a form of annual payments, and also just in general, like talking about like what are the concrete programs we're going to get. You know, it's one thing to say people are going to move in. That's completely fine. We want these types of programs. I'm not saying this project should not happen at all. I'm saying that we should be doing the project in a smart way that makes sure that we're looking at all sides and in a way that is very transparent to the community about what type of cost benefit analysis has been done behind the scenes so that we're all clear on what we're supposed to get, and a contract specifically so that we know that this is a promise that has to be enforced, right? Not just a promise that's being made that we can't enforce.
5 seconds.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next person we'll bring up will be Christian Willauer.
Council, and thank you, Councilwoman Cabrera, for the opportunity to speak. Tonight, Council will consider a proposal for the City of Wilmington to donate $10 million from its Tax Stabilization Fund to fund the relocation of the Widener University Delaware Law School and the Delaware State University Nursing Program into a former MBNA building. The project will be a nonprofit, which will result in the reduction of $300,000 in revenue each year for the city in property taxes and a reduction of $500,000 in revenue each year for school taxes. The city needs to make clear how it will make up this revenue loss. One option would be to require, as a condition of receiving the city's $10 million, that the new property owners make a payment in lieu of taxes equal to the amount of property taxes that are being paid now by the current property owner. Unless steps like these are taken, the city will have to make up the revenue loss from other sources, like property taxes, water bills, or parking tickets. This is a very important issue right now because unlike other jurisdictions that have limits on how much additional revenue they can collect following a tax reassessment, there is no limit for the City of Wilmington. Currently, all city parcels are getting reassessed for the first time in almost 40 years. The assessed value of many properties is likely to increase as a result of this reassessment, and the property taxes that owners pay could increase too. I urge council and the city administration to take steps to make sure that residents don't face an increase of 20%, 30%, or even more in their property taxes as a result of decisions that are being made today. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we will have Lourdes Rivera. Just a friendly reminder to watch your step. Coming up on.
Hi, everyone in council. Hi, Ms. Cabrera. Everyone, this took me by surprise a little bit when this was brought up to me. Someone sent it to me. And I think my other people that have passed to the front have spoken. As you all know, I live in the 5th District for 34 years. I think we need to question why hasn't there been enough investment made in our neighborhood to actually get the people's support. We have had a system for our home to have been repaired, but there has been a limitation of sometimes 25 houses, or sometimes there has been 10. So there's a lot of people in our neighborhood that would like the system to be provided, so a lot of more people will be able to get, hand to this money to fix their home. I know a couple of people in my neighborhood that has applied and they don't have the fund, even though they say they have the fund. Like some of my neighbors have tried to get the fund for the water bill, that you have some money in the system in here, but when they come and apply, they say they don't have the money either. So I don't know what is what, or where's the money. I speak to one of the council, and they mentioned to me that they have a proposal coming up that there will be more money put into this matter, and I'm hoping that they are. When it comes to the investment that the city want to invest in this particular that we're talking tonight, I'm not saying that you not go for it. I mean, anything that will have more business to Wilmington, it's okay with me. The problem is, what are they doing to help other area when it comes to 10 million to me is a lot of money, but that's my say. Another concern I have is what I experienced here like 2 weeks ago when I came here to the city building, and I called the 311 number, I got transferred. The problem is not getting transferred. The problem is that call getting returned to you, and nobody responds your call. You go, and I bring this last year, and I'm bringing it back to you, to the council that are going to continue, and to the new ones are coming in. I would like that having a ring doorbell in every door up there, it seems like we're in a jail, incarcerated in this building. I feel like I'm incarcerated, then you ring the doorbell and they don't answer the door. So it's like coming over here, and the city council building was up and up there, in which I was good, I was able to enter that particular floor. But the city council continuing, they didn't even answer. So what I'm saying, I was here early that day. It was 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So what
20
I'm saying,
seconds.
to me, I would like to see, we're not in Cubby anymore. I would like more doors open so we feel welcome in the city. And when it comes to everything else, then I'm not completely into the money that they want to invest on
5
this
seconds.
particular, that we're talking about tonight. But please remember
Time is
about
up.
more money for repair houses, and also please do something about 311. Thank you.
Thank you. I would like to recognize Councilman Smiley, who's here from Newcastle County. There he is. Sorry, I didn't see you earlier. Next, we have Jaquita Whittle. Jaquita Whittle. I hope I said your name correctly.
Good evening. My name is Jaquetta Whittle. Thank you. I'm reaching out today to the members of the City of Wilmington. I met with Robert Goff and Brian Burke on occasion 2 weeks ago. And I was told just on the 8th, after the sheriff's sale, by Mr. Goff that I was harassing him. So I'm here now to publicly ask for help. I've been reaching out for help since 2016. My residence is a former dry cleaner. DEMREC found PCE and TCE and other chemicals above state levels in 2016. A sheriff's sale took place in 2016, which was stayed by the bank. The bank vice president, Christopher Tonkovich, made a visit to the property with Rick Galloway from DEMREC to see what was going on and to clean up the site. Thereafter, the Delaware chapter of the Sierra Club, which I'm a member of, sent a letter out to John Carney, Mr. Pazicki, Robert Marshall, Stephanie Bolden, Michelle Harley, Robert Phillips, Timothy Radsford. There's no answer till this day, no response. Sheriff's sale again took place on the 19th. After the meeting, Aaron Baker, Robert Snowberger met with the retired Inspector General, who requested the city investigate the actions on the property. And to date, there's been no record and action taken by the City of Wilmington. DEMREC has been stating that they're waiting for the bank before they begin remediation. The Bank of Princeton terminated receivership shortly after their visit to the property in 2016. There have been multiple sales on record of the property, which will dissolve all taxes, liens, and DEMREC fees responsible to the owner, who seems to be circumventing the law by hiring different people to come have interest in the property, and this will eliminate him from paying any fees. And the main fee here that should have taken place is the DEMREC fee, which was imposed in 2017 at $10,000 per day until the property is cleaned up. By having the sheriff's sale, this will be a way that he could avoid paying that and being responsible. I went to Mr. Goff to show him the paperwork, which shows that the owner and the bank are working with developers on purchasing this property, which will leave him in the clear. I've been stalked, I've been harassed, and I've been ignored by the owner, investors, in effort to keep this matter quiet and to go away. As a military family, we deserve the right and fairness to clean air, water, food, and land.
15 seconds.
The people of District 4 should be aware and informed of what's happening in the city of Wilmington. I thank you. I have paperwork. I have all documentation since 2016 on this matter, and it should be heard. Thank you.
Thank you. And we have your name. If we could just make sure we have your phone number as well. Thank you, so we can follow up. Next, we'd like to bring up Miss Eunice Lafate. Artist and business owner here in Wilmington.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you, Councilwoman,
Good
for
evening.
giving me the opportunity to speak. My name is Eunice Lafate. I'm the owner of Lafate Gallery Vision Center, located at 227 North Market Street in Wilmington, Delaware. 41 years ago, December the 15th, I came to Wilmington, Delaware, married someone from Wilmington, Delaware. 9 years ago, I lost my dear husband to cancer. My siblings came and packed me up. My house was on the market, and I'd packed my art to put in storage. And I love the city so well. I have a piece called Wilmington, A Place to Be Somebody. I asked my siblings, give me time to pray. I asked for divine intervention, and the intervention came. I opened the gallery. And now the gallery is on the verge of closing. Why? 10 months ago, complex started at 3rd and Market Street. I'm at 2nd and Market. It has cut off my business completely. I'm here speaking also for my business neighbor, Quincy Watson, who is not able to be here this evening. Same scenario with him. He complains 30% loss in business. Well, my business has virtually been wiped out. I had the 9th anniversary celebration on the 28th, and whereas previous years I would have made good money, I made less than $100. People are not able, the streets are blocked virtually every day. I was told it will be finished in October. I'm looking as a layperson, doesn't look like it's going to finish. But suffice it to say, it has taken a toll on my business. I love this city, but the city has to love me back. I'm not asking for a handout. I do have valuable merchandise in my business. Last week, I was given the honor of being inducted into the Business Hall of Fame by Junior Achievement as a business leader. And all of that is great. I've gotten many proclamations, and I am thankful for that. I'm very grateful. But the bottom line is my business is struggling. It's on life support. And it is a cause of the construction. My question to City Council is, when a construction is going to
30
be
seconds.
put in place quickly, do you take into consideration what the impact may be on the businesses? That's a question.
Thank you. We will follow up with you, Mrs. Lafate. Thank you for hanging in there. At this time, we would like to bring Dr. Tony Allen. Always a pleasure to have you in our chambers. I would also like to remind anyone online and here in chambers, if you did not have an opportunity to sign up, you still have an opportunity to do so if you would like to make public comment.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good evening, Mr. President and council members here assembled. My name is Tony Allen. I'm the president of Delaware State University, your HBCU, where we are the fastest growing HBCU in the country and the most diverse, contemporary, and unapologetic HBCU. Most of our graduates, as you may know, hail from the city of Wilmington, which we're also very proud of. I'd also like to say that we contribute about $300 million each year to Delaware's economic survival, and we're proud of that. We've made a couple of moves over the last couple of years, including the acquisition of Wesley College, that has saved Dover in a very thoughtful and respectful way. And we're very proud to be here supporting the bridge project today. The bridge project, which you'll hear from Thayer DuPont on in 1 second, is a project that really brings eds and meds and law to the central city, which we think is important to its ongoing vibrancy. Thayer and I had an opportunity about a decade and a half ago to do a deal when I was at Bank of America, to have Bank of America donate a building to Longwood Foundation for the community education building. That building was specifically for low-income kids in the city of Wilmington, with the one goal to eliminate the achievement gap between low-income kids and other folks around the city. That building is full now. It is a thoughtful exploration of what you can do when you do it together, and it is a collaborative that I'm quite thankful for. So when Thayer came to us about the bridge project, we were very excited for a couple of reasons. One, we just got back to the city of Wilmington just 2.5 years ago as a result of a donation from Cap One. So we're on the riverfront with our graduate adult and continuing studies program. And two, we have a real opportunity to expand our nursing program in addition to other programs in the College of Health and Behavioral Sciences at Delaware State. And we believe that the shortage of nurses, which is a national crisis across the country, is certainly of the same ilk here in Wilmington, and more importantly, nurses of color. Let me tell you, 5 years ago, we graduated about 12 nurses from Delaware State University. Last year, we graduated 80. And of those 80, 84% of them passed their NCLEX exams, which is above the national average. If you can imagine what we will do in Wilmington, building our nursing portfolio and the College of Health and Behavioral Sciences. The last thing I'll say.
30 seconds.
Last thing I'll say quickly is we're also interested in bringing a portion of our early college school to Wilmington. That is the 7th through 12th grade, 600 students, all of whom can earn up to 60 college credits before they're ever admitted into any university. It is the best-in-class program in the nation. We see this opportunity to bring that forward as well as critical to the ongoing
10
survival
seconds.
of Wilmington. And as a 25-year resident of the city of Wilmington, I could not be more proud to be standing here supporting the bridge project. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Allen. Right on time. I would like to bring up Mr. Thayer DuPont.
Good evening, Chairwoman, President. Thank you to the council, and appreciate the opportunity to speak. Also appreciate your interest in the community education building, its youth development center, and the bridge project. I'm Thayer DuPont. I am a resident of the 8th District, board chair of the community education building, and president of the Longwood Foundation. We're humbled by your consideration of a $10 million grant to the project. It will be part of over $180 million that has been and will be invested in re-energizing 2 of the Bracebridge buildings, the old MBNA complex, for both social and educational benefit that Dr. Allen already referenced. Specifically, the city's contribution will go towards renovating Bracebridge 2, which Bank of America will vacate in 2025, with or without this project. And into converting it into a post-secondary hub with over 2,000 students. We're excited to create an infant, for the entire project, we're excited to create an infant through law school educational pipeline with 4 K-12 schools, 3 universities, and at least 10 resident nonprofit organizations. Currently active in the community education building is Kumba Academy, K-8, and then High Roads School, Great Oaks High School, and the University of Delaware. With the Youth Development Center, we'll add the YMCA as the operator of an early learning center, and with the bridge, we'll add the Early College High School, Delaware State University, and Widener's Delaware Law School. Currently, the CEB enrollment is 70% from Wilmington, inside the city boundaries. We'd expect those statistics to hold up as the program expands. We've recently also partnered with Reach Riverside to bring the CEB's wraparound services to Eastside Charter and benefit from their housing skills and services as part of this project. In total, it's a nationally unique model that is built around the student and their family, maximizing supports to ensure the student's postgraduate success. It is of Wilmington and for Wilmington students and families. The public health dimensions of it will be focused on studying and addressing some of the city's challenges around housing, community, and social challenges. Finally, thank you again for your consideration. I'm appreciative of the support of Delaware State, Delaware Law School, Reach Riverside, and the YMCA as part of this project. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you to everyone who spoke tonight during public comment. At this time, there is no one online. And is there anyone else, forever hold your peace, that doesn't want to make public comment? We will now, Mr. President, turn the meeting back to you. We will go to the legislative business.
Thank you very much. At this time, as was just noted, we will move into our legislative portion of the meeting. Councilmember White.
Yes, Mr. President. I have an ordinance to present, call for first and second reading.
Ordinance 24054, agenda number 0487. An ordinance to amend Chapter 5 of the City Code to require funeral service providers to provide a probate information sheet to personal representatives of a descendant.
Mr. President.
First reading of the ordinance.
An ordinance to amend Chapter 5 of the City Code to require funeral service providers to provide a probate information sheet to personal representatives of a descendant.
Mr. President, I
Second
move.
reading of the ordinance.
Mr. President, I move that be known as the first and second reading of the ordinance and refer it to the Community Development and Urban Planning Committee.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second that be known as the first and second reading of the ordinance and referred to the Community Development and Urban Planning Committee. Councilmember Oliver.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have an ordinance to present and call for the third and final reading.
Ordinance 24043, agenda number 0467, an ordinance to amend Chapter 40 of the City Code regarding the annual shoe allowance for safety shoes.
Mr. President, I move this be known for the enacting clause of the ordinance and call for the third, for the final call, yea and nay vote.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second that be known as the enacting clause of the ordinance. Call for a yea or nay vote on the question.
Yes, Mr. President. This is housekeeping. Shoe allowance to all employees who are not covered by the collective bargaining agreement or required to wear safety shoes by the department head shall receive an annual allowance of $150 for the appropriation of safety shoes. To qualify for reimbursement under subsection, employees are required to wear the safety shoes.
All right, thank you. Do any council members have any questions or concerns?
Mr. President, I'd like to be added as a co-sponsor to this legislation.
All right, thank you. Councilmember White wants to be a co-sponsor.
So noted.
Are there any other hands raised? Not, clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember White,
Yay.
Councilwoman Darby, Councilwoman Darby, Councilwoman Oliver,
Yes.
Councilwoman Harley,
Yes.
Councilwoman Fields,
Yes.
Councilwoman McCoy,
Yes.
Councilman Johnson,
Yes.
Councilman Field,
Yes.
Councilwoman Cabrera,
Yes.
Councilman Mills,
Yes.
Councilman Spadola,
Yes.
Councilwoman Bracy,
Yes.
President Congo.
Yes.
12 yeas, 1 absent.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Declared adopted.
Mr. President, I have a resolution to present.
Resolution 24058, agenda number 0488. Whereas pursuant to Section 2-363 of the City Code, City Council deemed it necessary and proper to specify the requirements for review and approval of city-sponsored grant applications and proposals, including authorization for expedited grant applications when necessary prior to council's approval by resolution. And whereas the Department of Parks and Recreation submitted a 2024 Outdoor Recreation Parks and Trails Grant Program, the ORPT program, application to the State of Delaware Department of Natural Resources and Environmental Control in the amount of $125,000. And whereas the ORPT program, formerly known as the Delaware Land and Water
I move this
Conservation-
resolution be received, recorded, and filed, and adopted by yea and nay vote.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second, the resolution be received, recorded, filed, and adopted by yea or nay vote on the question.
Yes, Mr. President, this resolution authorizes the Department of Parks and Recreation grant application to the State of Delaware Natural Resources Environment Control Fund a lot for outdoor recreation. This grant, they've been working on it for a while, finally received it for $125. The funds will be used for improvement of Johnson Park, which is overdue. Trying to get the park repaired for, at least 8 years. The fiscal impact, there is no negative fiscal impact on the city. The grant requires 1/3 local match of the grant awarded, which will total $41,066.67. Sufficient funds have already been budgeted for this purpose.
All right, thank you. Do any council members have any questions or concerns?
I do, Mr. President. Could you
Yes.
tell us,
Councilmember Cabrera.
thank you. What are some of the repairs that are in mind for the park,
The
Councilwoman?
entire park. It's talking about swings, you're talking about a new basketball court, you're talking about a little walk trail. If you go over there, you'll see it's an old park and it's been needing work for years.
And I'm sorry, I don't know where, can you tell us where it's located?
Oh, yeah, right on Claymont Street, right in back where the old Ambrosiers, over on Hill Street, right over 11th Street Bridge. And it was really totaled when the hurricane came, so it really was flooded. It's really bad over there.
Thank you. That's it, Mr. President.
Thank you. Any other council members? Any questions or concerns?
There are no hands raised.
All right, thank you. Sponsor, any final comments?
No, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Clerk, please call for the roll.
Councilman White,
Yes.
Councilwoman Darby, Councilwoman Darby, Councilwoman Oliver,
Yes.
Councilwoman Harley,
Yes.
Councilwoman Fields,
Yes.
Councilwoman McCoy,
Yes.
Councilman Johnson,
Yes.
Councilman Field,
Yes.
Councilwoman Cabrera,
Yes.
Councilman Mills,
Yes.
Councilman Spadola,
Yes.
Councilwoman Bracy. Yes. President Congo.
Yes.
12 yeas and 1 absent.
Thank you, Mr.
Declare
Mr. President, on behalf of Councilwoman Harley, I have an ordinance to present and call for the third and final reading.
Councilwoman
There's one
Oliver
more.
still has,
There's one more
Sorry.
that Councilmember Oliver has, one more ordinance for first and second.
Thank you, Mr. President. Lastly, Mr. President, I have an ordinance to present and call for the first and second reading.
ordinance 24055, agenda number 0489. An ordinance to amend Chapter 3 of the City Code to increase the fine for dog owners whose dog bites someone while off leash.
Yes,
First reading of the ordinance.
An ordinance to amend Chapter 3 of the City Code to increase the fine for dog owners whose dog bites someone while off leash.
Second reading of the ordinance.
I move this be known for the first and second reading of the ordinance and refer to community development and urban planning.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second that be known as the first and second reading of the ordinance and refer to the Community Development and Urban Planning Committee. Thank you. Councilmember Johnson presenting on behalf of Councilmember Harley.
Yes, Mr. President. I have an ordinance on behalf of Councilwoman Harley. I have an ordinance to present and call for the third and final reading.
Ordinance number 24050, agenda number 0474. An ordinance constituting amendment number 1 to the fiscal year 2025 operating budget, being an ordinance to amend substitute number 1 to ordinance number 24016.
Mr. President, I move that be known as the enacting clause of ordinance and call for a yea-nay vote.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second that be known as the enacting clause of the ordinance and called for a yea or nay vote on the question.
This is, I believe, Dr. Allen from Delaware State University and Mr. DuPont from Longwood Foundation, I think, already presented, and also Dean Clark during the Finance Committee meeting last week, presented, I think, a very cogent argument for the city, that the city cannot afford not to do this. With the reconfiguration of downtowns, how they operate, the reconfiguration of even where people live, we have to look for a economic impact in the city. And this project, the $180 million project, is exactly that project that will continue to stabilize Wilmington. And it's a pivot from, you know, the financial sectors that had a huge footprint in town to us pivoting to bringing eds and meds in town. So I think this is a no-brainer. Right now, the buildings are vacant, so we need to put these towards operational use. As an alum of Delaware Law School, I'm proud to have them in the city, right next to the courthouse. I think it'll be great for the students, great for the other programs, and I'm really looking forward to the energy transformation to downtown that this project will bring. So I'm looking forward to voting in favor of this. I'm looking forward to having everyone's support for this.
Thank you. Are there any council members that have any questions or concerns?
I do, Council President.
Yes, Councilman Cabrera.
I would just like to comment. So I was here during the time working with Mayor Sills when those buildings were built, when there was a big hole in that space. We used to shoot fireworks from it for first night. And to see the economic power that having all those MBNA employees brought to the city was powerful. It was a true loss to Wilmington when MBNA was no longer, including to the nonprofits. With Bank of America exiting, and we have enough office buildings as it is already that are vacant, a lot of spaces that have not been filled. It is important that we don't have another building that is vacant in the city of Wilmington. That's just as problematic as the vacant properties in our neighborhoods. To imagine that children can go to an education center from kindergarten all through college, that is just, I mean, as Mr. DuPont said, it hasn't been done anywhere else. It's really thinking outside of the box, innovative, and I'm sure that other cities will come to Wilmington to see what we have done. In terms of the concerns of revenue loss, when you have people gathered in Wilmington, they're going to spend money in our businesses. That includes revenue for the city as those profits go up. It encourages people to have businesses in Wilmington. And with adult learners, I can see many of them moving to Wilmington to be conveniently located near their school, and not to mention the internship opportunities with all the lawyers that we have here, the courthouse being downtown. I know that my daughter's a graduate of Del State as a nurse, and there is a wait list at Del Tech. Sorry, Tony, I know you got excited about that one. At Del Tech. And now to go to the nursing program there is a wait. So to be able to go right into nursing school after high school and to have a school within walking distance of our east side, our west side, to serve our residents and our students, I think that's very powerful. And $10 million is an investment, and it would be shameful if the city didn't make that, considering that others are making a much bigger investment. So I'm very much in support of this, and thank you. Thank you for bringing this idea to Wilmington.
Any other council members?
Online, we have Mr. Mills, Al Mills, Councilmember Mills.
Councilmember Mills, thank you.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. Yeah, I just wanted to see if I could be added as a co-sponsor and say I think it's a wonderful $10 million investment. I think it's going to do great things for the city, and thank the collective for bringing it to the city, to the table. Thank you.
Councilmember Harley has her hand up.
Yes, Councilmember Harley.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair and Council President. First, I want to thank my colleague, Councilmember Johnson, for presenting on my behalf due to the technical difficulty that I had been having. Since most of our audience have heard about the services and the benefits and the value that this bridge project is going to bring to Wilmington. I just want to take this time to just thank a few people, starting with the other 8 city council members that are supporting our Wilmington youth. I look at this as supporting our Wilmington youth and families by supporting Ordinance 24-050. I want to thank our Mayor, Mike Brzezicki, Thea DuPont, representing Longwood Foundation, Dr. Tony Allen, president of DSU, Dean Todd Clark of Widener University, Delaware Law School. I want to thank all of them for presenting at our Finance Committee meeting on Monday, October the 7th, to answer questions. First of all, to present, share information, the vision, how the bridge project came about, and more importantly, to just be present to answer questions on Monday, October the 7th, from the community as well as the council members. And then lastly, I want to thank Linda Jennings and the CEB representatives for hosting a virtual public conversation last night to answer additional questions. They made themselves available to the city. We shared it in the community. Anyone that wanted to share, to answer, to ask questions and to get questions answered was able to do that last night. So I want to thank Linda Jennings and the CEB. And then last but not least, I want to thank all the residents around the city of Wilmington that supports this legislation, are excited about this legislation, and are supporting outward economic mobility for our youth in Wilmington. Thank you, Council President and Madam President.
Thank you.
Councilmember Fields had her hand up. Councilmember Fields, did you want to speak, or did you?
Yes, I just wanted to just speak really quickly. I really appreciate that this is coming to Wilmington, and there's really no price tag on education. We have to educate our youth and our community. And like you said, the $10 million will come back maybe triple fold when it comes to people coming into the city, going to the restaurants, even moving into the city of Wilmington. So we have to look at the bigger picture. And I just really appreciate this project. I'm glad to be a co-sponsor on this ordinance. And I just hope that those who are not in agreement understands that a lot of us are originally from the city of Wilmington, born and raised, and know what downtown Wilmington used to look like. So right now, this is an opportunity to show that Wilmington is growing, and this is a place to be somebody. So I just wanted to say that. And, another thing, just because certain individuals may have degrees doesn't mean it's fair to say we don't need this right now. So I just want to say, I'm thankful for the ideas that the gentleman brought to the city of Wilmington, because we are going to be a stronger Wilmington, and our youth and our constituents are going to grow. So thank you. That's all I have to say.
Councilmember Bracy has her hand up.
Thank you. I'm going to make this very short. I am excited about this project from an economic development standpoint. If you look at what happened in Dover when DSU acquired Wesley and the infusion of life that was brought to downtown Dover, this is what we're looking forward to here, and that there is clearly demonstrated community benefit with all of the programs that are coming, and also the partnerships. So it's not just downtown. All of the presentations have talked about the partnership with Reach Riverside and what's going to happen on with Eastside Charter. So good things to come. And I know Mr. President will agree, Dell State is the best HBCU. So I just wanted to be on record saying that.
Okay. Excuse me, Madam President. Might as well.
Councilmember Oliver.
Yeah, since everybody else has spoke, I did receive something, and I just want to make this little statement after I've read it. They said the better argument is that the wage tax will offset the loss of the property tax revenue. Another sensible argument is that we should be not treating this building any different than one owned by any other nonprofit entity. And I live down on the east side, so I'm constantly, if anybody's noticed, I've lost weight. I've been doing a lot of walking. And I walk past that building, and it has been vacant for over 15 years. So to me, it's just a no-brainer, common sense. For me, it is. So I will be supporting this legislation. And once again, I'd like to give kudos to Councilwoman Harley for staying up on hours of the night, ringing my phone, talking my ears off about, this legislation. And she's done a very good job with presenting the whole legislation. And I will be supporting this legislation.
There are no other hands up, Mr. President.
All right, and with that, we can return to Councilmember Harley for any closing comments, if you like.
Thank you, Council President. I just, again, want to just thank everyone for their participation. This definitely was a team effort. When we learned about it, I just wanted to make sure that all of our council colleagues were tapped in, that we did our part to make sure that we received all the information that we needed, and were able to get the questions answered. And I want to thank the administration. So this definitely was a team effort. And I just want to thank everyone. And again, our residents that weighed in, that I heard from, that a number of my council member colleagues heard from. And I'm just looking forward to us continuing to grow Wilmington. A city is either growing or is dying. And I see the bridge project as an asset to helping and supporting Wilmington to grow. So that's all I have, and we can take the vote.
Thank you. Clerk, please call for the roll.
Councilman White?
Yes.
Councilwoman Darby? Councilwoman Darby? Councilwoman Oliver?
Yes.
Councilwoman Harley?
Yes.
Councilwoman Fields?
Yes.
Councilwoman McCoy?
Yes.
Councilman Johnson?
Yes.
Councilman Field?
Yes.
Councilwoman Cabrera?
Yes.
Councilman Mills?
Yes.
Councilman Spadola?
Yes.
Councilwoman Bracy?
Yes.
President Congo?
Yes,
12 yeas and 1 absent.
declared adopted. And Councilmember Harley, you may be excused.
Thank you, Council President. Have a good night, everyone.
You too. Councilmember McCoy?
Thank you, Mr. President. I have an ordinance to present and call for the first and second reading.
Ordinance 24056, revision 1 to agenda number 0490. An ordinance to amend chapter 44 of the city code to increase the income threshold for the exemption of the caregiver, elderly, or disabled persons from real estate taxation.
First reading of the ordinance.
An ordinance to amend chapter 44 of the city code to increase the income threshold for the exemption of caregiver, elderly, or disabled persons from real estate taxation.
Second reading of the ordinance.
Mr. President, I move that that be known as the first and second reading of the ordinance and refer to the Finance and Economic Development Committee.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second that be known as the first and second reading of the ordinance and refer to the Finance and Economic Development Committee. Councilmember Johnson?
Mr. President, I will be holding agenda item 0491 this evening.
All right, thank you.
And then I would like to proceed, I have an ordinance to present and call for the first and second reading.
Ordinance 24057, agenda number 0492. An ordinance authorizing the issuance of the city's general obligation bond, Adam Street Green Infrastructure Project, Series C of 2024 WPCRF, in order to provide the funds necessary for the installation of 3 bioretention gardens, 1,900 linear feet of stormwater pipe, 16 manholes, and 5 trench drains located in and around the Adam Street courts at 210 North Jackson Street, providing for the sale of the 2024 C bond to the Delaware Water Pollution Control Revolving Fund, and authorizing other necessary action.
First reading of the ordinance.
An ordinance authorizing the issuance of the city's general obligation bond, Adam Street Green Infrastructure Project, Series C of 2024 WPCRF, in order to provide the funds necessary for the installation of 3 bioretention gardens, 1,900 linear feet of stormwater pipe, 16 manholes, and 5 trench drains located in and around the Adam Street courts at 210 North Jackson Street, providing for the sale of the 2024 C bond to the Delaware Water Pollution Control Revolving Fund, and authorizing other necessary action.
Second reading of the ordinance.
Mr. President, I move that be known as the first and second reading of the ordinance and refer it to the Finance and Economic Development Committee.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second that be known as the first and second reading of the ordinance and referred to the Finance and Economic Development Committee.
Mr. President, I have a resolution to present.
Resolution 24059, agenda number 0493. Whereas pursuant to section 2-3.
Mr. President, I move this resolution be received, recorded, and filed, and adopted by a yea and nay vote.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second. Resolution be received, recorded, and filed, and adopted by yea or nay vote on the question.
This is allowing the this resolution is allowing Public Works to accept a water treatment sewer grant, and again it's for PFAS, which we have all heard about. So as we know, this is an emerging issue with the city in terms of keeping our water clean. So I hope and ask for everyone's support to support our water treatment centers at the Porter and the Brandywine plants.
Any council members have any questions or concerns? Not, clerk, please call for the roll.
Councilman White?
Yes.
Councilwoman Darby? Councilwoman Oliver?
Yes.
Councilwoman Councilwoman Fields?
Yes.
Councilwoman McCoy?
Yes.
Councilman Johnson?
Yes.
Councilman Field? Councilwoman Cabrera?
Yes.
Councilman Mills?
Yes.
Councilman Spadola?
Yes.
Councilwoman Bracy?
Yes.
President Congo?
Yes.
11 yeas and 2 absent.
Declare adopted.
Mr. President, I have an ordinance to present and call for the third and final reading.
Ordinance 24051, agenda number 0476. An ordinance to establish a temporary moratorium on the formal position classification biennial appeals process.
Okay, Mr. President, I move that be known as the enacting clause of the ordinance and call for a yea and nay vote.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second that be known as the enacting clause of the ordinance and call for a yea or nay vote on the question.
This is a presented by the Administration and Human Resources. This is again a temporary moratorium on the reclassification process, and it is being making sure we can make the HR classification process more streamlined and more efficient. So Human Resources will be studying this over the next year. The moratorium will start on September 1st, 2024. And then it would end 2 years later, or at the opportunity in which we're allowed to basically revamp our classification process to make it more fair. Because the worst is when we have people who are working on a class and they ended up not being compensated at the levels they need to be. So we look forward to working with Human Resources in the next year to make sure this is done correctly.
Thank you. Any council members have any questions or concerns?
Yes, Mr.
Yes, Councilman White.
Yes, Mr. President. I would just like to ask the sponsor, I do see the length of time that they wish to have the moratorium. I just was concerned about whether or not were there going to be any type of level increases or anything during that time frame, just to make certain that we do not keep anybody held hostage at a level for 2 years.
Do we answer now, Council President?
Yes, Councilman Johnson.
So there will be a process for leveling up employees. Again, HR already has their anticipated bands. Now, again, this is why we need to revamp the process, and that's why the anticipation is that Section 40 of the code will actually be revamped, and Human Resources is looking at this starting now so that we can have this new process in place. So it's, again, more fair for employees, because right now we have employees who apply and get denied, end up, again, working out a classification and duties. So we need to clean up the process.
Councilmember Oliver has her hand up.
Councilmember White.
Yes, I'm a little confused. I guess the question is, the comment to the sponsor is that, so there's unfairness going on now, and that this, is that question one?
I would say so.
And what's the unfairness? What are the categories? Tell me about it.
Well, again, this was discussed in committee, but in short, you have people right now who have appealed and who are performing duties outside of their classification, but they're not being compensated in the proper manner, and their classification appeals are denied. So we need to streamline this process and figure out a better way to do it. I know Public Works, it comes up a lot, also Parks Department.
Mr. President, just a follow-up question. Back to my colleague's question. I don't know if it got answered. In the interim, what's the pros and cons of the individuals hired in the city that would be subject to this? What's the pros and cons?
So, so right now there still is the cost of living increase, which we have in place now for all non-union employees. So that's the process we have now. And again, City Council job will be trying to revamp this process. So something be put in place. I don't anticipate, or at least HR doesn't anticipate, it would be 2 years that it would take to redo this process.
My hand's next.
Councilmember Oliver.
Yeah. I'm just glad to see this ordinance come up. I know Councilman Johnson and myself and I think McCoy was notified with some individuals doing some jobs out of their classification. Just seems like a piece of legislation that should have came up 2 years ago. But nevertheless, I think it's good if they're going to sit down and give people the proper increase that they deserve and doing work out of their classification. So I think this is something that's, overdue. So hopefully we're not just sitting down talking to people, but hopefully we're sitting down and making sure individuals are getting the pay increase they deserve. Thank you.
Thank you.
Councilmember
Any other
Bracey.
council members have any questions or concerns?
Councilmember Bracey has her hand up.
Yes, Councilmember Bracey. Thank you.
Thank you. So I just wanted to, because I think to Councilman White and McCoy's comments, if I'm not mistaken, and Councilman Johnson, you can correct me if I'm wrong, when Director Barnes presented this, the process is that every 2 years, city employees have the opportunity to appeal and basically go through a process with HR and their department head to say, here's the job as it's written, what I'm doing, or what's on paper, but here's what I'm actually doing, and then appeal for a promotion. The appeals process is coming up. The 2 years is coming up. However, we also have a new administration that's coming in at the same time. And so the administration is going to be doing a lot of this work of looking at evaluating each department. New department heads are coming in. So instead of starting the process with the current department heads, this temporary moratorium allows the new administration to actually function and reset the process with the employees. And so I think it's already started with if I'm not mistaken, Director Barnes is already working with the employees now to kind of start that process. And then as the transition happens, it'll keep moving. So it's not that the employees' concerns aren't being addressed right now. They are. It's just not through this process. It's through a more holistic, because as they're building the transition, Director Barnes is responsible for saying, here are all of the positions, here's where people are currently, here's where Tish is saying what she's doing doesn't match what her job classification is now. Here are the recommendations for the next administration on how we fix that problem. So this just allows so that there's not two processes going at the same time. So if that's how I understand it, and I could be wrong, but I think that's what's happening right now is instead of us having two processes, it'll just be one for the employees.
Yeah, but that's.
Councilmember White has a follow-up.
Thank you, ma'am. Just for clarity, and I can take the answer offline. We being City Council, passed a compensation study last, I guess sometime in June or July. So I'm a little bit bewildered. Did we not, I thought we did that to protect all of the inequities of the jobs. And so now I'm hearing that those inequities still exist. So I guess I'm going to say this, and then somebody can talk to me offline. Is it possible that that compensation in various departments went to the wrong job performance? And again, somebody can answer me offline. I'm just a little confused. It was $18 million. And now we're going to revisit it again. So maybe somebody could answer the question offline. All right, welcome that.
Okay, wait to answer it offline so we can continue.
Thank you.
It's only the first and second, so we have plenty of time
Yeah,
on this.
and again, thanks to my colleagues for educating me, but that's my question.
Is the final vote? Oh, so I'm sorry. Go ahead, keep going. It is the final, I'm sorry. My bus.
That was
It's the final.
okay.
I'm sorry.
Any other comments or questions from any other council members?
There are no other hands raised, Mr. President.
All right, thank you. We'll return to the sponsor.
And again, thank you very much, Councilman White, for the comments. I believe this is a question that can be more addressed by administration and HR. But to put it in short, there are inequities that still exist. Like I said, I said an example, also Councilwoman Oliver, there's people that are working in departments doing more work than really their job title says. So we have to be able to account for that. Those people have failed in the process in the past of appealing, so we want to clean that up. So, it's a lot of work to do, but definitely look forward to making it more fair for the employees. And for those reasons, again, I look forward to the support of all my colleagues.
Thank you. Clerk, please call for the roll.
Councilman White,
Present.
Councilwoman Darby, Councilwoman Oliver,
Yes.
Councilwoman Councilwoman Fields,
Yes.
Councilwoman McCoy,
Yes.
Councilman Johnson,
Yes.
Councilman Field,
Yes.
Councilwoman Cabrera,
Yes.
Councilman Mills,
Yes.
Councilman Spadola,
Yes.
Councilwoman Bracy,
Yes.
President Congo.
Yes.
10 yeas, 1 present, and 2 absent.
Declared adopted.
Mr. President, I have an ordinance to present and call for third and final reading.
Ordinance 24052, agenda number 0477. An ordinance authorizing the issuance of the city's general obligation bonds and general obligation bond anticipation note in order to provide the funds necessary to finance various capital projects specified in the city's fiscal year 2022 and 2024 capital budgets, providing for the sale of the bonds and the ban, and authorizing other necessary actions.
Mr. President, I move that be noticed enacting clause of ordinance and call for a yea nay vote.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second, that be known as enacting clause of the ordinance, and called for a yea or nay vote on the question.
This is more of a housekeeping, bond application. This is a VIII bond notes, which again, it's a fiscal product that allows the city to save significant amounts of funds. These for capital projects that have already been approved in our budget in previous fiscal years. there's no fiscal impact on the city.
Any questions or concerns from council members?
There are no hands raised, Mr. President.
Thank you, clerk. Please call for the roll.
Councilman White,
Yes.
Councilwoman Darby, sorry. Councilwoman Oliver,
Yes.
Councilwoman Fields,
Yes.
Councilwoman McCoy,
Yes.
Councilman Johnson,
Yes.
Councilman Field,
Yes.
Councilwoman Cabrera,
Yes.
Councilman Mills,
Yes.
Councilman Spadola,
Yes.
Councilwoman Bracy,
Yes.
President Congo.
Yes,
11 yeas and 2 absent.
declared adopted. Thank you. Councilmember Cabrera.
Mr. President, I have a resolution to present.
Does someone need to present this on behalf of Councilmember Cabrera?
No, because you're presiding.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Excuse me, Mr. President. Can I please be excused?
Yes, you may be excused.
Thank you.
Resolution 24061, agenda number 0494. Whereas on October 3rd, 2024, ordinance number 24053, the ordinance was introduced before City Council proposing amendments to Chapter 48 of the City Code to permit the cultivation, manufacture, testing, and retail of recreational marijuana within certain.
I move this resolution be received, recorded, and filed, and adopted by a yea and nay vote.
Second.
It's been properly moved in second that this resolution be received, recorded, filed, and adopted by a yea or nay vote on the question.
Yes, Mr. President, this resolution is being presented by the administration for council's review and approval. This resolution does requires that we schedule a public hearing, and that would be on November 7th, 2024 at 6:30 p.m. in the City Council chambers regarding an ordinance proposing amendments to Chapter 48 of the City Code to permit the cultivation, manufacture, testing, and retail of recreational marijuana within the certain commercial, manufacturing, and waterfront zoning districts. Members of the public will be allowed to participate in the public hearing in person in the City Council chambers and virtually in accordance with 29 Delaware C 1006A. The instructions for virtual participation will be provided on the agenda for the November 7, 2024 council meeting. There are no hands raised.
No, there is.
Oh, Nathan Field has his hand raised. Councilman Field has his hand raised.
Yes, Councilwoman Cabrera, is this a bit presumptuous because this has not gone to committee? So there's a democratic process. So why would we be scheduling the last step in a rezoning when we have not had the committee hearing? This seems to me to be a bit unusual.
Is there someone here from the law department? Can you answer that? Or, I'm not here. Okay. Well, we have a committee meeting coming up, and this is the last meeting of this month before the following meeting. So this is why it's being presented.
So, but I just don't understand that because we assume City Council's job is to vet a proposal at the committee hearing. And if it passes, it would go on to the meeting that you're discussing here. So this is quite, I think, out of order and highly unusual. And I'll leave it at that.
Well, it's a public hearing, so it does permit for the public to come and speak their mind before we vote it into, if it gets voted in. Councilman Johnson?
I'm just looking at just the lineage of even previous public hearings, even zoning hearings. We always schedule the zoning hearing, public hearing before we have the committee hearing. That's just the process, at least in the zoning context.
I don't think that's true.
Well, which not a debate, but I'm just making a comment. So again, we'll see what happens, but I believe this is a standard protocol.
There are no other hands raised, Mr. President.
Okay, thank you. Clerk, please call for the roll.
Councilman White,
Present.
Councilwoman Darby, Councilwoman Oliver,
Yes.
Councilwoman McCoy,
Oh, the meeting? Oh, yes.
Councilman Johnson,
Yes.
Councilman Field,
No.
Councilwoman Cabrera,
Yes.
Councilman Mills,
Present.
Councilman Spadola,
Present.
Councilwoman Bracy,
Present.
President Congo.
No.
4 yeas, 2 nays, 4 presents, and 3 absent.
You don't have.
You're not
And declare defeated.
defeated.
At this time, we will move to petitions and communications. Councilmember White.
Not at this time, Mr. President.
Thank you. Councilmember Darby.
No.
Councilmember Oliver.
No, I don't have anything.
Thank you. Councilmember McCoy.
Nothing tonight.
Thank you. Councilmember Johnson.
No matter tonight, Mr. President. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Field.
Nothing tonight, Mr. President.
Thank you. Councilmember Cabrera.
Nothing this evening.
Thank you. Councilmember Mills.
Nothing tonight, Mr. President.
Thank you. Councilmember Spadola.
Nothing tonight.
Thank you. Councilmember Bracy.
Nothing tonight.
Excuse me. I would just like to thank everyone for joining us this evening. Again, those who joined us virtually and those of you who were in council chambers. If any of us on city council can be of any assistance, please reach out to us at our council office at 302-576-2140. Again, our number is 302-576-2140. With that, I will accept the motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second to adjourn. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Excuse me, motion carried, and thank you, Councilmember Cabrera, again for helping with this evening's meeting.
You're welcome.
Meeting, everyone, thank you.